Fringe.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe, and welcome to our weekly wrap, which is a little different this week. I'm joined by a very special guest, probably one of my favorite guests of all time. I don't care who's on this show, nothing can top this one. My very own daughter, little Miss Harley Quinn, joining us on the stream tonight. Harley, how are you?
Nice.
You're good? You're happy to be here?
Yes.
Yes, Harley was very insistent that she sits in with Dad tonight. Since she's off of school, since it's out for the summer, she wanted to sit here and chat with her dear old dad and watch the chat scroll by in the stream as we talk about everything that's going on and everything that's going to be going on. And boy, do we have some updates as Joe Lyman, yo, Joe, jumping into the stream saying, hello, Mini Fringe. He's talking about you, Harley. Welcome into the stream. Joe, good to see you. Megan's jumping in. Happy Canada Day weekend. I hope you guys had a wonderful Canada Day celebrating all the festivities. It was a great weekend. I know we had a good time. Rob jumping into the stream. How you doing, Rob? Saying hello, welcome to all of his unacceptable friends as we move ahead in our small fringe minority. Dear old Suzanne Eckstein jumping in. How are you, Suzanne? Welcome into the stream. Great to see you. Rob Stevens jumping in the stream. Hope for the record amount of fireworks all over the country. Crazy weekend for that. I know Calgary fought tooth and nail. Some fireworks were canceled around the city. We did have fireworks in the city last night. And what do you know? We missed them. We ended up going out. We went to a small town just south of Calgary called Okotoks, where they have a restaurant named Big Sky Barbecue. And it was so nice outside yesterday. We decided to have some good old smoked ribs, barbecue chicken, and what else did we have? Bacon, macaroni, and cheese?
Yes.
Sitting outside
Yes.
at good old Big Sky Barbecue last night. If you guys are ever in the Alberta area, it's like southern Alberta, around Calgary, go out to Big Sky. I'm telling you right now, you have never had anything like Big Sky, and I'm not even paid to promote them. But damn, it was good. Damn, it was good. Derek Macbeth jumping in. Happy Canada Day weekend to you too. Welcome into the stream. Yeah, it was a good time. My kids had a water fight. They just kind of hung in the backyard. I spent the day cleaning and getting the house ready because if you all are aware, we've been talking about it for weeks. My good friend Clyde Do Something is headed over for a visit Thursday afternoon. He'll be here for the weekend with his family. We're going to go to the Calgary Stampede.
Yay.
And take in some rides and events and some good old Western culture. We'll be taking the kids to the Stampede Parade as well, so they can get a little glimpse of what Western civilization is all about in Calgary. At least the wild Western civilization in Calgary, where we're going to see horses and Stampede princesses and all kinds of floats. What are you looking forward to at the Stampede?
Candy.
Candy, of course. Of course it's candy. It's going to be a good time. I will be doing a live stream down from the grounds Friday afternoon. It'll be a surprise stream, so make sure to have your bells on for notifications. I can't exactly predict what time we will be going live, but it will be down on the grounds live. And then Friday evening next week, you can tune in to watch me on Clyde's Friday night stream where he does his usual hang out with his Discord. It's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to sitting in with Clyde. And I'll have Tamara Leach hanging out earlier on this week, but unfortunately she won't be with us down at the Stampede grounds. She's actually going on vacation with her family and spending some much deserved time off with them. It's going to be great for her. I'm really happy. If she couldn't be here with us, that she's at least getting some time off and a little R&R with her family, because she's kind of been all over the place recently promoting her new book, Hold the Line, which has been doing very well in conjunction with Rebel News. I can't say enough good things about that book. I've read it twice personally and loved every minute of it. And despite all the rumors coming around from those that are salty of the convoy that Tamara somehow has offshore bank accounts or millions of dollars tucked away, or that I think she was saying there was a rumor she bought a house in Quebec at one point or something. She's been having a tough go, and it's kind of nice to see her finally have a little success behind her and the ability to take her family on a vacation and kind of enjoy some of her summer. Let's get caught up in the chat really quick. Suzanne saying Saskatchewan, where was a disgrace. I've had better light shows welding, and now most of the provinces without power. I'm sorry to hear that. Joe, I wonder if fireworks are going to get cheaper with all these city boycotts, extra supply buildup. Possibly. One of the places I'm going to be happy to check out is when we go to northern Idaho in 2 weeks. I'm taking my kids to Silverwood Theme Park, which is about an hour away from Spokane, Washington, in Idaho. I'm going to be looking for some fireworks while I'm there because, let's face it, Americans have way better stuff when it comes to fireworks. Rob jumping in, Memphis Blues Barbecue Restaurant in Red Deer, and Vancouver is absolutely amazing. I'll have to check that out next time I'm in Red Deer. I'm not sure if Joe knows about that place, but because Joe's close to Red Deer, I believe. Can't say I've been there, but I will check it out. Casey jumping into the stream. How you doing, Casey? Welcome in. My daughter got all the good looks. She did get all the good looks. I was saving them for her. She sits in on the stream, little shy, but that's okay. She loves watching these streams, and she loves watching what Dad does, so she wanted to jump in tonight. Speaking of streams and our content, this will be kind of a chance for me to update you guys as to what we're doing. I do have a video coming out tomorrow explaining the same thing, so please put the video on mute tomorrow so we can get our views in. But I'll sit and kind of update you guys as to the state of the channel right now. Being that it's summer, things are going to change a little bit here on the channel. Normally, I have videos coming out Monday through Thursday with our live streams on Sunday nights. So technically, we have content 5 days a week. But normally, in a typical week when my kids are in school, I have 3 kids all under the age of 10, with Harley being the oldest, and my youngest just turning 3 years old. Usually I get my days to spend with just my 3-year-old, and then I get a little bit of time with my kids at night before I'm into the studio to make YouTube content for you guys for the next day. However, the challenges of trying to get into recording mode while looking after 3 children full-time all day long, while my wife is at her job, as well as a full summer of visitors, people at the house, playing host to people. It's a little hard to bring out all my equipment because what you see behind me with my arcades, my YouTube equipment isn't always sitting where I am. I usually keep my desk, my camera, my lighting all in a spare bedroom office in my basement. And that's also the spare bedroom where my guests stay when they come to visit. So what I'll do is I'll have to reduce some of the content that I'm making because Clyde comes Thursday. Tamara's here Tuesday and Wednesday this week. So I do have videos that I have made already for this week. So this week will pretty much be business as usual. As we get into next week, as soon as Clyde leaves, I get about a 6-hour break before another friend of mine comes from Manitoba with his wife and kids for about 7 or 8 days to visit on holidays. And then we immediately leave the same day they leave to go to northern Idaho to take the kids to Silverwood for a week. So I'll be in the US, and again, won't be taking my equipment with me all the way down to the US while we're there. It's kind of our time off. I've been doing streams, interviews, content for YouTube, writing books, a whole bunch of things since last summer, and we really haven't had a whole lot of time off. Even when we took you guys to Vancouver last September, I was working because we went to visit with Clyde and we did some book announcements and things like that. So this is kind of our first vacation in multiple years, given the pandemic and everything that's gone on. So I'll be in Idaho at the end of July. And as we get into August, I might be able to get back into some kind of schedule because visitors will cease for a few weeks. And then at the beginning of September, we take the kids to Disneyland. And I know I kept saying we were going to surprise our kids and that we weren't going to tell them about that. But unfortunately, it slipped out over the weekend by accident. And well, the wife and I were having a conversation. So we just decided we'll spill the beans to the kids. So they're excited now that this is kind of a payback for them for everything they had to endure during lockdowns and the family that we lost. And it's kind of a way to give back to them for everything that they gave up. They gave up sleepovers, birthday parties, meeting new friends in general. being segregated from other children. This is kind of their payback with interest. So in September, I'll be taking them. And then that is also when we're going to launch our newest project, our newest book, The Young Kid's Guide to Grooming. Will be hitting Amazon in mid-September, early fall. As of now, at least that's where we're on schedule for. So between July and August, I've got a new book coming out. I've got to get on the chopping room floor, as well as how I get content out. So I'm not disappearing altogether, but I'll try to kind of get videos out on the fly. So instead of getting videos 5 days a week, we might only have videos 2 or 3 times a week. Live streams I'll do on Sundays where I can. But if we do miss a live stream, I'll try to get either some fun content, whether it's a mashup video of our vacationing or a live stream on a different day. So make sure to have your notifications turned on, folks. I'll update content as much as I can. And I apologize for taking that time off because I know people enjoy the content. People like coming to hang out here. And we have a really good community, and I want to try and keep that moving as much as I can and growing. But at the same time, I kind of got to put my family first during these 2 months. Again, this is the first summer where I've actually been a content creator on YouTube, and trying to juggle, taking care of kids as well as, keeping everything moving. It's going to be a very busy summer, and it's going to be very busy with crunch time, trying to get this book out before we take the kids to Disney. So just a busy couple of weeks, busy 8 weeks. I know a lot of you guys probably vacation or go out of town during the summer as well. So, it's kind of time off for all of us. So hopefully everything works out. Hopefully you guys are still here when things go back to normal, if not better, come September when we can get back to regularly produced content. But it's going to be good. It's going to be a great summer. There's Snatch coming in. Of course, Snatch always blowing everything out of proportion. Don't throw in the rag. I'm not throwing in the rag. It's just we're still putting out content, just not as often, and not on a schedule. That's it. That's the only thing changing. We have regular content for this week, despite my schedule being full. I found time to pre-record some of the videos that I wanted to talk about. So content will be normal for this week. It's a matter of next week trying to find the time to get it. Again, I'll have some content out next week. But the week where I go off to the US, I probably will have far and few when it comes to content, even just for that 1 week. Because, if any of you know what it costs to have data in the US or film in the US or live stream while you live in Canada, it's expensive. So I don't think I'll be able to do a live stream from Silverwood or anything like that. Again, I might take some video, maybe try to get that online or something fun that's a little bit different. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun. And I'm looking forward to the time off. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of nice to have a break. How about you? You looking forward to some time with just dad, no work?
Yes.
Yeah. We had a vote in the house, and unfortunately, we run this house like a democracy. So we we had a vote, and the kids said we want more time with dad. So it's going to be interesting. Joe jumping in. The secret is to train them young to make your thumbnails and edit. Well, maybe I could. I don't know if the quality would be there, but we'll definitely try to do that. Casey chiming in. Good on you for focusing on the kids in a positive way. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's Joe again. I think quality content is far better for growth and consistent, and I agree. Again, I'll try to get what I can. I'll try to find the topics we want to talk about. I think some of the videos over the summer are going to change in format because, again, politicians are off during the summer, and a lot of the political stuff that happens is usually far and wide. So I know I wanted to get a video out this week talking about the dismal numbers of Indiana Jones 5 and what's happening at Disney, because all hell's breaking loose at Disney. I think content like that's going to be interesting to get in, especially with summer blockbusters, the flop of movie theaters, and some of the other culture war stuff that's going on. So keep your eyes peeled. I'll probably have some videos on that. Snatch saying the kids should have voted for larger allowances. Well, that would require more work. It's it'd be tough. But this weekend we sat down. Well, you decided not to join us because my daughter got bored. We sat down in the family room and watched the new Indiana Jones. Well, at least I watched about 3/4 of it. I fell asleep for a portion of it because it was just that entertaining. The Dial of Destiny. I've got to say, I prefer to look at Indiana Jones as like a trilogy. I still look at it as a trilogy. We watched the main three movies, right? We've watched Raiders, we've watched The Temple of Doom,
Yes.
and The Last Crusade. Temple of Doom being Harley's favorite. I prefer to look at Indiana Jones as a trilogy. The Crystal Skull we don't really watch. We don't talk about that one. And Indy 5, I will say, despite falling asleep, I think it was slightly better than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull in some aspects. But this movie is so bloated and so poorly written. It barely crosses the threshold to be better than the Crystal Skull. Saying it's better than the Crystal Skull isn't really much for this movie. I guess for me, it's how you perceive your heroes, how you look at things. With Indiana Jones, as a kid, at least when I grew up in the 80s, 90s, watching Indiana Jones, it was like you're going on an adventure, and this archaeologist who's not profiting from, like, he's not a treasure hunter. He's as the famous line says, it belongs in a museum. He's looking for these relics to give things to the world, to enrich the world. And this movie kind of pits him as this disheveled, broken man. If you've seen Star Wars The Force Awakens, it's essentially the same movie. It's an old Harrison Ford who's being upstaged by young female British actor that essentially can do everything he can't. And it's I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who wants to see it, but if I were you, I wouldn't waste your money on it. I'm very glad we didn't pay to see it. I didn't want to give Disney my money, but the fallout is going to be even more fun to watch, I think, than the movie, because this weekend they've been on damage control, essentially with Bob Iger. Now, Bob Iger typically is the CEO of Disney. He's quiet. Anytime you see him, he's very well reserved. He speaks well. But this weekend, he's kind of gone on the warpath in terms of saying, the people who are saying nasty things about our movies are terrible. It's the fans' fault that this movie isn't doing well. There's rumors swirling around that multiple employees over at Lucasfilm have tried to email Kathleen Kennedy, and they're getting rerouted their emails, being told that email is no longer in use, which is telling people there's a rumor going around that she's apparently been fired. And boy, wouldn't that be great as a start. But they're on damage control. Believe it or not, they're saying that this weekend's box office is to do worse than The Flash, which I didn't think was possible. Now, I downloaded The Flash as well and watched that one because, again, I don't want to give my money to that stuff. It's not even worth the time you would spend sitting and watching it. I wanted to see Michael Keaton come back as Batman. He's my favorite Batman. And it was just disappointing. He's only on screen for about 20 minutes out of a 2-hour movie. And it was horrible. And how Indiana Jones is going to do worse. I don't really want to spoil again or say too much, but it was bad. It was really, really, really bad. It's, now shows the true power of democracy. Vote for yourself. More and more of the races. There you go. Last Crusade was a classic. Last Crusade is probably my favorite Indiana Jones movie out of the two. Sean Connery. Him and Indy, I think the one scene that my wife always said she loved, because where Indiana Jones is tied to a chair with his dad, and he's screaming at his dad, and his dad keeps yelling "what," and they can't get the communication right between each other. And his dad says that he should have, mailed his Grail diary over to the Marx Brothers. My wife always loved watching that movie because she said it reminds her of myself and my father, because we're always butting heads and we act kind of the same way, where there's that distance, but we're also close. And it's, I'd easily say it's one of my favorite Indiana Jones movies. It probably will remain. It's a toss up between that and Temple of Doom. I know my daughter Harley, she loves watching Mola Ram ripping hearts out of people. I don't know if that's something I should worry about going into the future with you, if you're into that. Like if that's something you find fascinating, or you just like that scene. But
I only like the scene and pull out the thing.
You just like watching him do it.
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
I will not do it.
Susan jumping in. Welcome into the stream. Ezra Miller's creepy. He's very creepy and bizarre. It's is that when Indiana Jones and his father realized they both? Oh no, okay, I'm not going to say that out loud. Yeah, it's around the same time, and that did not happen in my household. Yikes. Rob jumping in. It'll always be the first three to me. I don't waste my time watching woke content, and that's so. When you look at the Crystal Skull, that was kind of the beginning of woke content. Like that was kind of them starting to step over the line in terms of, hey, we want to push this crazy disheveled man type, bumbling idiot male character profile. And while there's portions of the Crystal Skull I can watch, I think for me it was Shia LaBeouf that ruined it, as well as the fact that it was aliens. There was a lot of people that if you played any of the Indiana Jones games or heard about Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, it was an old Lucasfilm point and click game from the 90s. People loved that game. I've played that game with my kids on emulation, and it's a lot of fun. Probably one of my favorite Indiana Jones stories. A lot of people thought if they ever made a fourth Indiana Jones movie, it was going to be about Atlantis. And unfortunately, they go to aliens, and it's just, I understand that, the Ark of the Covenant, the Holy Grail, these stones that, control people's lifestyles in a region, they're all a little far-fetched, but as soon as you go to aliens, I mean, that's a bit of a stretch. And I just wasn't a fan of the Crystal Skull. It's South Park kind of put out how I felt about that movie. It was crazy. Casey saying the same thing. Aliens ruined it for me. There you go. Funis, welcome into the stream. YouTube missed the notifications again. Anyone get hit by the weather yesterday? We got hail and a bit bigger than golf balls. So, Funis, I'm sorry to hear that. There were parts of Alberta that had tornado spottings. There was a bit of damage done near the town of Didsbury, from what I hear. I know it felt like a monsoon for about 20 minutes. We had rain blowing through at high speeds. And then, I don't know, today we had a thunderstorm that struck for about half an hour and then went away, and now we have sunny skies again. So it's all that climate change, folks. It's it's crazy. I actually had to sit with my daughter and explain this whole climate change thing because she came home with a book about climate change a few weeks ago from school. And we had a long discussion about how climate change isn't really what they say it is it?
Yes. I thought it was about the world because it had a map.
Yeah, it's not about the world. She mistook the book for something else and brought it home from the library. And yeah, we had a long discussion about Dad's views on climate change, but it's I actually got yelled at by a guy this week. I went to drop off some clothing donations and clean out the house a little bit before we have house guests. And it was about 30 degrees outside, and I'd been working all day, and I hop out of the car to grab this like 100-pound garbage bag to hand over to this guy at the donation place. And he says, hot enough for you? And I said, God, it's blistering out here. And he takes a look at the SUV I'm driving and says, if you weren't driving one of those big cars emitting all that carbon, it'd probably be a little bit cooler. So, I mean, I kind of looked at him blankly for a good 5 seconds and then just said, well, it's worth every penny, I guess. I'll suffer in the heat. And I jumped back in my car, took off. Like, I don't understand how people can listen to this stuff and buy it for what it's worth. I just, I don't get it. I don't get it. Funis is saying Disbury got hit with tornadoes. Some cows and chickens lost. Just a funnel out there, but thank God no tornado. Sorry to hear about what happened there with the animals, but hey, at least everybody's safe. Hopefully no injuries or deaths of people. Vancouver Island, where was the hail? North of the Whistle Stop. Okay, and again, I got a video coming out about Canada Day this week, talking about Whistle Stop, and I know Chris Barber was up there. They did a big trucking thing for Canada Day celebrations. That was really good to see. Joe jumping in, it was like 1 to 2 kilometers wide from reports. Wow, that's crazy. I mean, not huge, but not terrible. I know. So my mother-in-law lives in a place called Sylvan Lake, which is about a 10-minute drive west of Red Deer. And they've got a family quarter section of land in a town called, or just outside of a town called Leslieville, which is about 40 minutes west of Red Deer. And my wife's family, they all park their trailers up there. They leave them all year round and they go camping up there. I know my wife takes the kids up there every August long weekend for camping. I don't go because I'm not the camping type. I really just can't stand no running water. I know I'm a bit of a suck when it comes to those things, but honestly, it's a good weekend because it gives the wife a chance to get away with the kids. It gives me a weekend without kids, which is kind of a chance to get some things done around the house and decompress a little bit, so to speak. I've usually got a cousin who comes into town and we hang out over the weekend and do some fun stuff. But every time she goes to that section of land between roughly, I'd say, Airdrie and just before, like Airdrie and maybe Innisfail, Alberta, which is in between Calgary and Red Deer. I always call that the Bermuda Triangle of Alberta because you can have great weather in Calgary, great weather in Red Deer, but you drive on that number 2 highway along that stretch and it can change. I've seen all 4 seasons of the year in one trip driving along that road, from hail to snow to sunshine. It's absolutely insane. And this is long before they were talking about climate change. I mean, this is just normal behavior weather out there. So it's anytime my mother-in-law says she's going camping, which she did this Canada Day weekend, there's no cell service where they have their trailers parked. And I always worry because I worry that, you know, they're going to go out there one weekend and something bad's going to happen. Thankfully, nothing yet. Joe, we went out to Sylvan today and didn't last long. Very strong cold wind. See, we had that. We went out to Sylvan a few weeks ago and we rented the Sea-Doo.
Yes.
Hey, you remember that?
Yes.
Harley enjoyed this, the beach out there. I took my son Wade on the Sea-Doo, let him drive for a little while. That was fun. He almost killed us. And the water was like, the wind and the water were really cold. And that was about 2 weeks ago. Even though it was like 25, 26 degrees outside, you get those cold winds up there. It's really, really crazy, but it's such a wonderful. Sylvan Lake is somewhere I think if I moved out of Calgary, that's the first place I'd go. I love that town. It's, Foon is jumping. There's Canada RV jumping into the stream. Welcome into the stream, Canada RV. How you doing? Good to see you. It's, the first day of summer, it was snowing in and around Jasper Hinton area. Yeah, I heard about that, and people again blaming climate change. But guys, these are the mountains. it's typical. I always laugh when people say it's climate change, and like you look at the seasons. I had that one year where a friend came in to visit. Uncle Peyton came to visit, and we went into the mountains. We went up to Banff in July, and it started snowing in one section of Banff, and he kept saying, "Oh, I can't believe they get snow up here," and I'm. Seriously? Like, we're in the Rocky Mountains. Like, what did you think was going to happen? They get all types of weather all year round. They've been getting it that way for decades. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, content coming this week. I've got a story about Canada Day celebrations. We've been talking a little bit about a few things off. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about on this stream, just to see people's reactions, because I'm going to bring up my web browser. There's CNN was reporting on something, and I know it's CNN. Let's not get too riled up about CNN or their integrity, but they had a story come out on Friday that really blew my mind and made me laugh. And I kind of briefly talk about this in one of my videos coming up this week. And I don't really want to spoil it too much, but you know what? It's just so much fun. We got to talk about it now. Let me bring it up. They're talking about carbon emissions. Okay. Keep that in mind. They're talking about how we're going to save the planet with carbon emissions. Here we go. CNN says that giant kites could pull cargo ships across the ocean and slash their carbon emissions. And you see this photo of this giant parasail on a boat pulling it. I don't know. I don't know if anybody has told CNN or the people doing this study. Boats used to have this large wooden mast attached to it with fabric that would catch the winds, kind of like a large kite, and they were called sails. They're, I can't even hold it together to talk about this. They're actually releasing an article to talk about carbon emissions and saving the planet. Look at this revolutionary idea, folks. You can strap large kites to boats and pull them across the ocean. This is not satire. Rob's asking, is this satire? Is it no, this is on CNN. Look, it's I swear to God, CNN travel. Here we go. Dated published Friday, June 30th by Mike Tutton over at CNN, saying that giant kites could pull cargo ships. I just how does the world think that we're going to take them serious when this is what they come up with? Instead, like, to not think about sales. I mean, I can't even. I just Joe, to be fair, I'd love to see modern sales applied to cargo ships. I mean, it'd be funny, but wouldn't it be funnier looking at these giant parachutes pulling a goddamn boat, like a big shipping freighter? Like it doesn't. I almost got to stop looking at it because I'm laughing. It's just so bad. It's so bad, guys. It's the Canadian version of that kite is a drift sock that allows you down, that slows you down and burns your bones gas, so you can pay more in emission tax. There you go. Oh, what do you think? Is that a good idea? Do you think that's the way to move a boat, or should they put a sail on it?
They should put a sail on it.
Sail? I think they should put a sail on it. Oh, God. Oh, why? Why? Guys, I've said some pretty stupid things in my lifetime, okay? Justin Trudeau has said some pretty stupid things in his tenure as Prime Minister of Canada. That takes the cake for me. That's as bad as the paper drink box water bottle sort of things. I mean, I want to see memes everywhere about ships with kites attached to them. Maybe like Ben Franklin standing on an aircraft carrier with like a kite and a key, saying, "Man with kite on ship saving on carbon emissions discovers electricity again." Or lightning strikes key. Oh, I don't know. Rob saying that there's proof people are getting dumber, much dumber. I mean, CNN. Well, here's Joe again. I wonder if you could dip an underwater kite into the ocean currents. I mean, maybe anything's possible with today's technologies. I think CNN used to be quite reputable. I mean, I remember, when 9/11 happened, I was glued to the television and I was watching Wolf Blitzer. I was watching Larry King report on it. I was watching all this stuff go on. I believe those were the early days for Anderson Cooper. I mean, they covered the story very well, and they covered interviews well, and on the ground coverage of people working together as a city. And if you wanted news, you went to CNN. Now it's like not even tabloid news, like kites pulling ships. No sails. Sails are racist. We want kites, right? It's insane. It blows my mind. There needs to be a meme made with Freeland on a broom replacing that flag. There you go. I'd love to see. Don't they already have that where people stand on surfboards with those parachutes? They call it like parasailing, I think. They should have that where like it's like Trudeau and Freeland standing on a ship, and like the parasails like carrying them away while they're trying to ground themselves, saying we just need it to be a little stronger. It's Did you see the flag at CHUBB? I'm not sure what the CHUBB is. If you're talking about the Nazi flag that somebody had in Ottawa over the weekend, I seen footage of that. It's yeah, I don't know, man. It's scary. It's scary. And that's where we're headed as a country. I'd call it a lightning rod. There you go. If you get your boat up to 88 miles an hour with those parachutes and it gets struck by lightning, do you go back in time to a time where people had a brain? I wonder. CNN was reputable. I stopped listening to them after their Y2K hysteria. There you go. Chubb Security. No, I didn't see that. I didn't see it. Maybe I'll look it up. We can check it out at some point. Absolute insanity. Absolute insanity. So tonight's stream, ladies and gents, was destined to be a shorter one again because of the restrictions we have this summer. I can hear another lightning storm rolling its way in, so I'm probably going to wrap up this stream. I had the power go out on me twice while I was trying to film videos for this week, and I'm guessing it might drop again. So I'm gonna call it there, ladies and gents. That's gonna wrap up our very short stream for this week. Be on the lookout for our content. Again, check our video tomorrow as I talk a little more in depth about the schedules of our content coming forward for the next 8 weeks. Again, with the kids being home, going on holidays, having house guests, and then our 2 trips while launching another book. I'm going to get content to you guys as much as I can over the summer, just not on a schedule like it has been. I hope you guys have yourselves a drier, less rain and thunderstorm week as you're headed off to work. Whether you're headed to work or not, make sure to come back and check us out Friday afternoon. I will be live on the Stampede grounds with Clyde Do Something, my good friend, and then head over to his channel Friday night when we're back from the Stampede, where we'll be doing a live stream over on his channel. It's a dual stream kind of day, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe there will be some booze involved and some fun shenanigan antics. It's going to be great. And if it's your first time here, ladies and gents, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Turn on your bell for notifications, as the streams are going to be more random over the summertime, not always on Sundays. I'll keep you guys updated as for the schedule for any changes as much as I can before we return to regular programming early September, as I return from our family vacation. And we put out our new book, The Young Kid's Guide to Grooming. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to show it to you guys and have you take a look at it. Thanks again to everybody who came out in the stream. I hope you guys have a great week this week, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.